Also on 90, your host, Tony Staten, representing the business managers and the great members of the Labor's District Council. Please join us on WURD Facebook. You can watch us stream there live and also on wordradio.com where you can watch also streaming live. We share the feed on our Facebook Lecet page at Lecet, Lecet, Philly and the number 5 county. Also call in. It's a great show today at 215-634 8065 or 1-866-361-0900. I have a guest calling in. Omar Sabir will be calling in soon, Commissioner's office. He'll be calling in, but I need to do a little in-house because that's what I do. So we're going to do Laborers on the Move. Let me just pull my email up. And you all know that last week I had the great Tracy Goldstein on from our health and welfare health and safety, fund. And she talked about all the great virtual events that they have set up for our members, from exercising to different financial classes to pension information, all the stuff you're going to need once you retire, before you retire, anything you need when it comes to health. Well, I just want to let you all know that they're having a great event for members and their families this Thursday, May the 6th. What they're doing, they're walking, but they're doing it live, so in person. So hopefully people are vaccinated, if you did get your vaccine, and if you didn't, social distance is key, but they want to actually connect with members. So what they're doing this Thursday at 6:30, they are walking. They're going to walk from the new training school, Arch Labor's Training Center at 1333 North Broad Street, and y'all know I'm so happy to say that. That is open, and I'm excited about that. With that being said, they're going to walk with our members and their dependents. So bring your wife, bring the kids, bring the dog, and you can walk on Thursday at 6:30 from the training center to Center City and back. Get some exercise and move around. It's beautiful. The weather is great. Join them. Afterwards, they have great, little refreshments. They have some food for you, healthy food, of course, little giveaway. And the great part is for everyone who participates, they receive a gift card. Now, how nice is that? What a great incentive, right? To get moving, and they will reward you. Now, if you're interested, please go to myldcbenefits.com, and you can just click on wellness and all the events. That event that's coming up, also a great Zenit event they're having this weekend. Everything is listed there, so don't be shy. I just need to get that plug in. I'm trying to see if the commissioner is on yet. Maybe not. With that being said, we have a great guest coming up shortly. She's going to come in after the commercial break, and I'm so proud of this young lady because she's going to talk about, what she does as in giving back to the community. And I'm not going to say much right now because I don't want to get into it when the commissioner calls in. But I just want to make sure people are aware that it is time to vote again, and it's coming up, and it's coming soon. I'm talking May the 18th is the primary election time for you to vote. So please know that the last day to register to vote is May the 3rd. May the 3rd. Also, the last day to apply for your mail-in absentee ballots is May the 11th. With that being said, like I said, voting is coming up. It's May the 18th. You got to get out there and vote. I know there hasn't been a lot of advertisement, but guess what? It doesn't stop the country from moving. So your voice does matter, folks. And just because you might not have, heard a lot of it, and it's not been a lot of information or things put out there, these dates, are coming up, May 18th, and then it's a general election. Like I said, the commissioner is coming on to talk a little bit more about an event that he has coming on May the 7th, and I'm going to let him talk about it once he's on. With that being said, like I said, a young lady that's coming on today, really, okay, so he's on. I'm sorry, I'm trying to extend the time. So, yes, Troy, is that the commissioner who's on? Hello? Okay, so no, I guess he's not on yet. Okay, no, that's our guest that's coming on after the break. The commissioner is due to come on. You know what? I think I'm just going to get started because I need to save this hour for as much information as possible. So the commissioner is on. I tell you, this live is something else, but I'm making it work. Hello, Commissioner. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's everybody doing?
We're good. We're good. We're good. I'm so excited that you contacted me today to talk about an event that you have coming up.
Yes.
So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about this important event.
Okay, so I just wanted to just clarify. On Monday, May the 3rd, is a very important deadline for this election. That's the deadline for you to get registered to vote. So you have up until 11:59 p.m. where you can get registered. You can go to votespa.com and you can get registered. It takes you less than 5 minutes. But however, if you're listening right now, get registered right now. Let's spread the word. Oh, they got this whole weekend. I want to call it the voter registration weekend. Okay, the deadline is on Monday, May the 3rd, 11:59 p.m., but we can tell people now they need to get registered. If you do not get registered, then you can't participate in the May 18th primary. So it's very important that you have to get registered. And we have a closed primary, so that means if you're not registered to a party, then you can't vote for a candidate in this election. So if you want to vote for some of the Democratic candidates or some of the Republican candidates, you have to be a registered Republican or registered Democrat to participate in the election. So it's very important, Monday, May the 3rd, and we will be on 52nd Street registering voters. That's going to be Monday morning. We're going to get out there at 7 a.m. sharp to catch the rush hour, and we're going to be registering as many folks as we can. We're going to be collecting vote by mail ballot applications, and we're going to be out just disseminating information.
So, Commissioner, besides the DA, because I swear that's all you hear about is the DA, who else is running? Who else is in this election? Because there's not a lot of advertisement, and folks really need to know.
Oh, so we have the judges. The judges are very important. We have the judges from the Court of Common Pleas, the Municipal Court, and we also have the Supreme Court, we have Commonwealth Court, and we have Superior Court. So all the judges from all levels, from the local all the way up to the state Supreme Court, are on the ballot, and we also have ballot questions too. We have 5 ballot questions as well. Our city controller is running unopposed. But again, those judges affect your life every single day, and they're so important. They're so crucial. With everything that's going on right now, you need strong judges to give us justice.
Exactly.
We talk about criminal justice reform. You need judges. They affect your life in every single way, and it just bewilders me how we don't participate in these elections. So I'm telling everyone right now, listen, you can vote right now. You can come to City Hall from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You can request your ballot. You can fill it out right on the spot. It takes you less than 5 minutes to actually vote. So, we have the ballots in the mail. We mailed out approximately 75,000 or so ballots. And, then people are returning them back. But, again, you can come right in City Hall, 9 to 5, from now until Election Day and vote and cast your ballot. So, it's so easy for you to vote now. Our ancestors right now, for us not taking advantage of us. You can vote at home. You can vote.
They're walking tall. They're walking proud and tall. Trust me when I tell you, okay?
Yes. So we have the opportunity to exercise our right to vote. The more we vote, the more we get. So please.
So let them know, too, if they come down to your office to vote, then they cannot vote in person. It's one or the other, right?
That's right. It's either one or the other. That's right. We're not voting twice. We
That's
vote
right.
one time. We don't do that in Philadelphia. You come on out, you can vote, and then it's already done. We got the new I voted stickers. So you get your stickers, and it's like I say, it's an easy process. It's not crowded. And again, so if you're coming down, Center City, shop at Macy's or get something to eat or something, hey, stop in over City Hall on 142. You enter from the south entrance, right where Octavius Cotto statue is. You can walk right in. You make a right, and then right there, someone will be there to greet you. And if you just want to come and just drop off your ballot, if you already have it in the mail, you just want to drop it off to someone, they'll be here. You can hand them the ballot. You get a sticker. And, you're going to receive an email confirmation letting you know that your ballot has been received.
Right. So I have a question real quick. Where can people go to find information on who's running? Because let's just be honest, there's not enough information out there, and people really don't know who they're pulling the lever for. They don't know who they're voting for. So where can they find some background information on these judges? Do you have a link or a website or something that you can give to the person who really wants to have some background information?
Well, what I learned, listen, Google is your friend.
Right.
Every name that you can look up, it'll take you less than 2 minutes, and you can just type the name in, Google search that name, such as running for jobs. Almost every judge has a website, and you can look at their platform, right? And then, there's other civic organizations that endorse candidates as well. So you may have the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, the Philadelphia Bar Association, Committee of 70, the unions, so, and then that's going to kind of tell you, you know what I mean, who these people are. And then from what I've noticed, this is me personally, when I see names, that come up with different organizations that I have an affinity to, and I see those names keep coming up, then I might say, you know what, I might not know that person, but all these organizations that I look up to, that I revere for their community work, they're saying good things about these people, and that plays a decision. But, people vote based off gender. People vote based off race. It's a lot of reasons about why people vote, but my really position is to get out there and vote. Because the more you vote, the more you get. The more you vote, you're going to get resources for your community, and you're going to get accountability from elected officials. And this election is very important because next year, we have a governor, we have a United States senator seat open. And what's important about that is state reps are running too. And, people look at these numbers. So if Philadelphia produces, a lot, that person is thinking of that's going to be governor is going to give Philadelphia more resources based off of the results of this election. So now's our time, and our time is always now to let our voice be heard.
So real quick, tell us about the May 7th event that you are partnered with the Red Cross, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, don't forget that.
And we're also partnering with the Labor's Health and Safety, Mr. Parham. I just got the phone with him earlier this week. I mean, he was ecstatic about this blood drive. And,
yes.
And I'm so happy. And this is all a part of the Humanitarian Heroes campaign that we launched. And we're really calling people to return back to their nature as human beings. And as you know, a lot of the wickedness and the things that we're seeing in our community, we're asking people, to donate something from themselves, some time, it could be blood. We just came back from Jackson, Mississippi, where we donated water for people that didn't have drinking water. So we want to, give something good. So hopefully that could bring up the morale. What goes around comes right back around.
Exactly.
And that's what we're in. And the thing is, sickle cell anemia is a disease that disproportionately affects African Americans. And every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. Sickle cell disease disproportionately affects African Americans due to the COVID-19 pandemic. American Red Cross is urgently in need of donors to help those battling sickle cell disease. According to the Red Cross, there has been a significant decrease in blood donations as a result. The blood drive is a humanitarian effort to aid those in need. Nothing great can be done alone. It takes a village, a community to help.
So listen, where is this event, this blood drive, going to be held?
Okay, right. So by the end of the year, we have pledged 300 donations. So the kickoff to this blood drive, we're going to have 4 from now until about December. But the kickoff is on May the 7th, this upcoming Friday, from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock at the Pennsylvania Convention Center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they partnered up as well. The Renton Terminal is giving out food for people that donate, giving incentives. I mean, it's all around good place. And again, the laborers, I love the laborers. I got to say it. I love the laborers because, laborers, we in the convention center. And,
yes.
When I pitched the idea of the convention center, they said, oh, you know what, don't worry about it. We're going to make it happen. And so they're proud partners. And we also partnered up with the Pennsylvania Legislative Black Caucus. Chairwoman Donna Bullock, I talked to her about it. She said, oh, man, we all in. So it's a very important thing that we're trying to do, but we need African-American donors. Right now people that have been signing up, when we're looking at it, have not been African-Americans. And, we need more African-American donors. I know people feel funny about giving blood and, that kind of stuff, because I've been getting a response back. I ain't giving no blood. Okay. I want needles. I said, look, man, this is so that we can save people lives. Yeah. This is why we're doing it. In this pandemic, people have not been donating. The American Red Cross said it's basically like a pandemic, like they're at emergency low levels. Right. So please, you can go to redcrossblood.org, redcrossblood.org, and when you click in your sponsor code, you want to click in Commissioner Omar Sabir, and then you can just schedule whatever time you want to go there. Again, it's Friday, May the 7th, at the Pennsylvania Convention Center at 12th and Arch Street from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And if you want to call, 1-800-Red Cross. If you don't have access to the Internet, you can actually call as well. And you can schedule an appointment. They'll give you a time slot. And every time you donate blood, you're going to save a life.
And you can officially call yourself a humanitarian hero. How about that?
That's right. Hashtag humanitarian heroes.
I love
the campaign that we're moving on in this direction. And we're actually, like I said, we're having a call, for common sense. A call for just treating everyone just like human beings. And hopefully all of the violence and the things that we see in our community will change.
Yes. We definitely need blood. Blood is needed. So before you go, give out those dates, those important dates about registration, last day to apply for mail-in absentee, and how they can actually come down to your office. Please plug that one more time.
Okay, sure. So Monday, May the 3rd, is this Monday that's coming up. 11:59 p.m. is the deadline for you to get registered for the upcoming primary, or for you to change your primary, or for you to change your registration. Tuesday, May the 11th, that's the application deadline for mail-in and civilian absentee ballots. That deadline is 5 p.m. sharp, not 5:01, not 5:02. If you come to my office at 5:02, I cannot take your application for your mail-in ballot.
That's right.
But don't get discouraged, because you can always vote in person. That option will be available to you, and that's Tuesday, May the 18th. That's the last day for us to receive the voted mail-in ballots and the absentee ballots. And that's the primary day. So you can go to PhiladelphiaVotes.com. PhiladelphiaVotes.com. You can find your polling location, or you always can call our office at 215-686-3462, 215-686-3462, and we have City Hall open Monday through Friday right now from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. sharp, where you can come in, you can vote, or you can cast your ballot early. You can walk in, you can request your ballot, you can receive a ballot, and you can vote right on the spot. You will receive an I voted sticker. Even if you already applied for your vote by mail ballot and it didn't come in the mail, or you're a little bit nervous, you can come down and request a replacement ballot, and it takes you less than 5 minutes. You come out, you get a sticker, it's no crowds. It's a beautiful thing. 9 to 5, City Hall, enter through the south entrance.
Well, thank you, sir, so much for joining us and giving us that value, putting that valuable information out to the public, and I'm quite sure everybody needed it. Those who are listening, they can tell a friend and tell another friend. With that being said, I want to applaud the City Commissioner's Office, Omar Sabir, Lisa Dilly, and Al Schmidt for all the great work you do. And like you said, go and register at redcrossblood.org to give blood, because black folks and brown folks, we need to give blood. We need to be a humanitarian hero. How about that?
That's right. Hashtag humanitarian heroes.
Yes, yes. And with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Thank you again, Commissioner. We'll be talking to you soon. Folks, stay tuned. I have a fabulous guest coming up after the commercial break, and you're listening to Labor's Live.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good afternoon. We got a closure on 95 for a little while longer because of the President Biden motorcade. 95 southbound shut down between the airport and Naaman's Road. We'll keep our eyes on that. Meanwhile, heavy volume on the Schuylkill Expressway eastbound City Avenue to Girard. That's from an earlier closure because of the motorcade. Then we're also backing up eastbound Broad Street between Broad Street and Front Street. That's all because of the ongoing construction. There are actually delays now going back to Passyunk Avenue. Westbound 76 backs up University Avenue to Girard. Delays on the Ben Franklin Bridge westbound midspan to 8th and Vine. We've got delays on the 42 freeway southbound to Creek Road, and 55 northbound jams Deptford to the 42 freeway. Report brought to you by Audible. Freshen up your playlist this spring with Audible Plus. Listen all you want to thousands of select Audible originals, audiobooks, podcasts, and more. Start a free 30-day Audible Plus trial when you sign up at audible.com. That's audible.com. And for more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. I'm Jason Lee with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Hey everyone, it's Michelle Obama, and I wanted to let you know that Barack and I couldn't be more thrilled that we got our COVID-19 vaccine. This is a deadly disease, and we know the vaccine will protect us from getting really sick. It's how we'll start getting back to seeing friends and family and doing all those things we love again. So I hope you'll join me, Barack, and millions of others around the country and get your vaccine as soon as it's available to you. It's safe, it's free, and it could save your life or the life of someone you love. To learn more, just go to cdc.gov/coronavirus. I know it's been a long, hard year, but we can beat back this pandemic. With your help, we can do this.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Spring forward with premium nutrition meals. Enjoy a variety of new exciting entrees along with rewards and referrals program that pays you to eat and tell. As always, everything is chef crafted, freshly prepared, and delivered to your door. Just visit premiumnutritionmeals.com, where listeners get $10 off 6 meals or more. Enter code PREMIUMWORD at checkout.
A Part of Me boutique, located 3834 Lancaster Avenue, sells men's and women's clothing, shoes, and beautiful accessories. Items can be ordered if not in the store. Check out our lovely one-of-a-kind chairs with reupholstered African fabric. A Part of Me is open Wednesday through Saturday from 11:30 to 6 p.m. You can expect friendly, professional service and unique finds. A Part of Me boutique, located 3834 Lancaster Avenue, sells men's and women's clothing, shoes, and beautiful accessories. Items can be ordered if not in the store. Check out our lovely one-of-a-kind chairs with reupholstered African fabric. A Part of Me is open Wednesday through Saturday from 11:30 to 6 p.m. You can expect friendly, professional service and unique finds.
I greet you, our community partners for peace. My name is Pastor Bernetta Sanderful. I am from Mothers in Charge. I understand firsthand the unbearable pain of losing a child to gun violence. So as we face these uncertain and difficult times, we urge you, Mom, we urge you, Dad, we urge you, community of Philadelphia, please speak to your children, speak to our youth, not to respond with violence, but to respond with peace. Mothers in Charge, 215-228-1718.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
Welcome back to More Labors Live. I have one more thing to say for our health and safety team. They're having a virtual group fitness training for beginners and advanced this Saturday, May the 1st, at 9 to 10 a.m. That is virtual. Also join this dynamic 60-minute virtual group fitness session. You will get a fun, energizing, full body work to burn fat and gain strength. Balance and Zen will also take place on Sunday. So you get a full weekend, members, if you're listening, Saturday and Sunday. Sunday you get the Zen, health and safety coaches there. So that way you get to wind down on Sunday. So how about that? So join health and safety for all these great virtual and live, because don't forget on Thursday, they're going to be out there at the training school, 1333, with members, the families, the kids, the dogs, whoever want to participate in the evening time. So it's after work, so come bring your kids if you want to. And after you walk to Center City and back, you're going to get a great gift card and some refreshments, okay? So listen, I'm excited, folks, right now, because we have a young lady who's going to join me today, and we're going to talk about literacy. And the laborers are all for literacy, because we understand that the laborers and the trades industry, that there's no secret when you talk about background of our members and how they struggle in literacy. And we're familiar with, schools just passing, people through for years and years and generations. Well, we have a guest today, and she's going to talk a little bit about, the importance and how do we get back, the brown and black kids and literacy. How do we get literacy to matter in our community? So I want you to join with me today and welcome Shadeen Holmes. Hello.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Miss Tony?
I'm so glad you're here. Let me tell you all about this dynamic young lady, okay? She is 26 years old. Yes, she is black. She is an entrepreneur. She has a successful tutoring program called Lotus Tutoring, and she's having her business for about 1 year. And yes, I'm having this show not only for the kids and talk about the importance of literacy for the kids, but she also can tutor adults. So you don't have to worry about when you have to go to these training classes sometimes and not being prepared for certifications, because you can call this young lady up and have a virtual one-on-one. Nobody has to know, no judgment zone. So that's another reason why she's here today, to let people in the industry know that there are, tutoring programs virtual now, because it's the popular thing with COVID. A lot of good came out of COVID, that you can contact her if you need assistance. And with that being said, Shadeen, you got to tell us about yourself and background, okay? Because I'm excited.
Thank you so much for that, Miss Tony. Basically, when I finished grad school, I went to grad school, Johns Hopkins. I graduated from Westchester in 2017, and when I left Westchester, I relocated to D.C., and in D.C., I went through a really, really intense teacher prep program partnered with Johns Hopkins. So I finished Johns Hopkins May of 2019 with my Master's of Science in Education, with a dual certification in early childhood, elementary, and special education. So I'm certified pre-K through fourth grade, all subjects, and K through 12 special education. So that has kind of gotten me here to start Lotus Tutoring now a year later, and it's just all really so surreal. Like, I decided to leave the classroom almost 2 years ago, just on my own personal journey. I was really, really stressed out, and I was just like, I don't even want to teach anymore, right? And so now, to be a year later, I've really gotten back into my passion and purpose of just helping students and families and people be them best selves, giving them the tools that they need to be better readers and self-care and things like that. So it's just really so surreal to even be here on the phone with you. It's wow. My whole journey is just so crazy, So Lotus Tutoring Service is really, really my baby. It kind of happened by accident. Like I said, I had left the classroom and just started on this journey of self and really trying to figure out what I wanted to do in the world, because at the time I was teaching, it was super stressful. My work-life balance was so out of whack, and so I actually resigned. I was teaching second grade. I taught kindergarten for 2 years in D.C. I had taught second grade in Maryland. And halfway through my year teaching second grade, I was just I sat down and talked to my principal, and I was I think I gotta leave. I'm not showing up how I need to be. My mental wasn't really where it needed to be, and so I left. That was November 26th of 2019. I literally walked out of the building with one thing. I was I don't even need any of this. I'm never going to teach again. And so finding Lotus Tutoring happened by accident. The pandemic started. At the time, I had a part-time job working in a shelter and another part-time job working in a tutoring center. Just tutoring part-time, just really healing myself and getting back to, my better self. Mm-hmm. And so my girlfriends that have children, once the pandemic hit and school wasn't happening, I was just I can help them, right? And so they started telling their friends who had children, and then it turned into an Instagram page, and then it turned into me touching every part of Philadelphia, from West Philly, South Philly, Mount Airy, West Oakland, just giving students the tools that they need to be successful, because the statistics show that when children leave those foundational years, kindergarten, first, second, third grade behind, they're guaranteed to stay behind and are at more of an increased risk of dropping out of school, getting mixed in with the juvenile system, just because they don't have the skills that they need to be successful. They can't read, they don't know what to do, they don't have that support pushing them in the right direction. So I created Lotus Tutoring with that in mind, to just do the work of helping to close those achievement gaps that exist in the communities that are predominantly black and brown. And just to put some statistics out there, according to the World Literacy Foundation and things like that, 70% of children who fall into the low-income category, that's 68% of our children are destined to fall behind. Mm-hmm. So they aren't guaranteed high school graduation. And then if you're reading below average by fourth grade, you already have a seat in prison. We call that the school-to-prison pipeline.
Wow.
You already have that seat if you aren't reading where you need to be by the end of fourth grade. So if you leave kindergarten with the at a deficit, then you're going to first grade below where you need to be. You're going to second grade below where you need to be. So you're already not set up for success. So my goal with Loaded Tutoring was to create the space in home or virtually where you have that extra support outside of the classroom, giving you those skills that you need so you can grow into a literate, achieving, confident adult.
And that's what it's about. People don't realize it's the confidence. I remember, Shadeen, I did a program where we offered to the public school district, 2 days of a journeyman, the life of a journeyman, from the math to the reading to also the hands-on. To make a long story short, when I went back to contact some of those kids to actually, participate and fill an application out for the apprenticeship program, they didn't show up. And they were afraid. I'm assuming when I talked to a couple of counselors, they were afraid because as soon as you say application or test or, some type of a standardized, format when it comes to math or reading or literacy, they shy away, they turn away, they don't have the confidence, so they think they can't achieve. And reading is so important. And that's why I wanted you to come on today and talk about all the great things and how reading is important and what we need to do tools-wise, these households, with these, kids to make them successful. I mean, she calls me Miss Tony, folks. I want you to know because I've known this girl since she was 3. Yes. And she literally will walk around her mother's house with a book. Wasn't actually reading a book, but when her mother would read it to her over and over again, she memorized the words. Yes. So she would memorize the words and walk around reading the books, and I was just so tickled with her. And now to see her, at 26 with her own tutoring literacy, program, her passion for reading did not stop. So once again, tell the folks how important, when you talk about 20 minutes a day from when your kids are out the womb, how important it is to read to them.
It's so important. That's such a foundation for their language development. It's crazy because when I was in kindergarten, I came home one day, I was learning how to read, and I told my grandma I didn't need to learn how to read because my sister knew how to read. And if my sister knew how to read, then I didn't need to know how to read because she would just read for me. But those early stages, reading to your child 15 to 20 minutes a day, they're taking all of that language in. Oral language is natural, but that reading, that looking at those words on a page and reading it, that's not natural. So if you are not introduced to that early, you're going into school not knowing, already below where you need to be. So even if, when children are young, they can't understand the words, they don't know the words on the page, but just them visually seeing you reading and hearing it, that's setting the foundation for them to develop their own language. So
and you're so true.
Words. And it's just, once they start to read and they get into the habit, then it's not so, not normal. We have adults who, don't read. How do you have time to read? I have people how do you have that time to read? It's I make the time because it's been embedded into the lifestyle that I live. Reading is normal to me. And when we start that at a younger age, it becomes normal for children to read those books. Some of the students that I serve, I tell their parents, before they go to bed, have them read a book to you or read a book to them and have them talk about it just so that they can hear that language. Because that 15 to 20 minutes a day, we look at it as adults, 15 to 20 minutes is a little bit of time, but for a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, them knowing and seeing to read from left to right or just seeing the words on a page and that translated into, verbal communication, that's so, so, so important. So important. Even just as far as book handling, knowing how to turn a page, knowing the front cover, the back cover, the title, those things set up a foundation for them to be successful from pre-K and beyond. Because that's reading is the gateway to learning. After 3rd grade, you stop learning how to read and start reading to learn. So you're taking that knowledge and then you're learning about it. You're making inferences. You're making connections. And all of that foundation is set in those early years from K to 3rd grade. So that 15 to 20 minutes is so, so super duper important. So important. That's the foundation right there, that 15 to 20 minutes before they even get to school.
And you're so true. And even if for some adults, I want to say, who are struggling, with reading, even the YouTube nowadays, you can pull up any book and it will read to you and your child. And not necessarily saying that you're embarrassed. Your child doesn't have to know at the time, but you yourself will be learning through YouTube, because it will read the book and show the words and do all of that for you and with you until you can learn and actually read with the child. It's so, we can camouflage a lot, folks, with this thing we call Google and the web, and it can help you and your child. And like I said, so tell folks while you're here, you need to put your plug in, because let me tell you, my daughters, I use her, and that's why I can vouch for her. She's awesome. So tell them to how they can go to your Instagram and how they can get in contact with you, for your services.
Yes, for sure. If you have an Instagram, you can follow my business page on Instagram at Homeschool, HOLMES, school, SCHOOL, underscore. And that's just my hub for all my tutoring service. So if you go there, you'll see the things I do with the children. You'll see some of their parents. You see, extracurricular stuff that we do. I'm also on Facebook, Shadeen Holmes. If you search me, I'll pop right up. And those are my two big social media pages. And for direct contact, you can email me at Shadeen, SHADEEN, @thelotustutoring.com. No spaces, just straight through. And you'll get right to me.
And we love your enthusiasm, because you can tell that it's your passion, it's your love, and that you care. I'm appreciative of you helping my kids with my kids, because, no, they don't always feel like and want to do it, but they do it because the reward is so great. So I want to take this time to thank you for being young, knowing the need that was out there for our community, because even though it's your passion, you're also giving back in a sense. You are helping our young who, will grow up with that confidence, who will enter, kindergarten. Tell me a little bit about that kindergarten. You were telling he's not even in kindergarten yet and can read.
Oh, yes. So I have a client of mine. I started with him in September, so we see each other every day for just 1 hour. And when I started with him in September, he knew all of his letters, uppercase and lowercase, but he hadn't yet solidified the concept of that letters make sounds. So that's where we started. So when I have a new client, I go in and I do a very informal assessment. So I just show them letters, ask them if they know the name, and if they know the names, then we move into sounds. So I did that with him. He knew all the letters, uppercase and lowercase, but he hadn't yet known the sounds. So that's where we started. And now we are in May, and he is reading on a reading level that is for the end of kindergarten. He's reading on a level C. Just by him being with me for 1 hour, 5 days a week, and his mom also committed to doing the work. It's a partnership. A lot of times I think parents will look at teachers as miracle workers, but I'm only one part of the village. Parents also have to make that commitment. And so he's on a level C, which is for the end of kindergarten, and he hasn't even gone into kindergarten yet. So that gap for him is now closed. He will likely stay above or stay where he needs to be because he's going into kindergarten where he needs to be. He has a solidified foundation. He can go pick up a book and read it and talk about it. He can sound out a word. He knows what vowels are. He knows that letters make sounds and sounds make words. He can follow a sentence from left to right. He can articulate all that he's thinking. And the most important part about it is that he's confident.
Yes.
A lot of the times, children they don't want to take risks because they're scared. They don't know. It's the unknown. They don't want to be vulnerable. And so I show up as a person who creates that space for them to take that risk. I always tell my students, trust your brain. Trust your brain. Even if I'm not here, even if your mom isn't here, trust your brain. You know what you know. And when they have teachers and parents in just a village, I'm coming into homes and I'm becoming a part of their community. When they have that, they will blossom. He's so confident in himself. Even just students who struggle, the confidence is what makes the difference. When they feel like they can do something, they will try their best. And it's gotten to the point where sometimes I show up frustrated, and I'm like, you know what, I'm giving up. And everybody's like, oh, you giving up? What about your perseverance? And I'm like, oh, you right. So it starts to rub off, and it becomes normal for them. So it's like them knowing that they can do something or knowing that if they try their best, even when it's hard, that's the part that matters. That's the reason why he can read now and do what he can do before he's even getting into kindergarten, because he's confident in what he knows. And he trusts his brain. And he knows that even if he makes a mistake, it's okay. I tell my kids, you can make a mistake. I promise your head won't fall off. And then they'll take it, and then they'll look up at me. And I'm like, did your head fall off? And they like, no. I'm like, always take that risk because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And I instill that in my kids all the time.
That's awesome. But listen, Shadeen, hold on. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break. Listeners, don't you move. And we'll be right back with more Labors Live.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good afternoon. We got a closure on 95 for a little while longer because of the President Biden motorcade. 95 southbound shut down between the airport and Naaman's Road. We'll keep our eyes on that. Meanwhile, heavy volume on the Schuylkill Expressway eastbound City Avenue to Girard. That's from an earlier closure because of the motorcade. Then we're also backing up eastbound Broad Street between Broad Street and Front Street. That's all because of the ongoing construction. There are actually delays now going back to Passyunk Avenue. Westbound 76 backs up University Avenue to Girard. Delays on the Ben Franklin Bridge westbound midspan to 8th and Vine. We've got delays on the 42 freeway southbound to Creek Road, and 55 northbound jams Deptford to the 42 freeway. Report brought to you by Audible. Freshen up your playlist this spring with Audible Plus. Listen all you want to thousands of select Audible originals, audiobooks, podcasts, and more. Start a free 30-day Audible Plus trial when you sign up at audible.com. That's audible.com. And for more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. I'm Jason Lee with your Philadelphia area traffic.
What's up, Philly? It's Sincerely Sarita. The world is inching back to normalcy, but our approach to educating our children may never be the same. Commonwealth Charter Academy, or CCA, has nearly 20 years of experience providing a flexible, stable, online education in the comfort of your home. Enroll today at ccaeducate.me.
Here are the benefits to your children and your family. Number 1, world-class education and accredited lesson plans streamed directly into your home at no cost to you. Number 2, laptops, headphones, and high-speed internet access, all provided at no cost to you. And number 3, a learning environment completely free from classroom risks like bullying and other distractions.
CCA has been in our community long before this health crisis and will continue to faithfully serve students and families well into the future. Join the more than 2,500 students from Philly who already attend CCA. Enroll now at ccaeducate.me.
We do all we can to ensure our kids are happy, healthy, safe, and strong. Having high-quality, low-cost health insurance helps make that possible. With CHIP, your child can have medical, dental, eye care, and more for free or low cost. Whether you're self-employed, unemployed, or your employee benefits are just too expensive, CHIP is there for you to help your child be strong. CHIP Strong. Apply or renew today at 800-986-KIDS or go to chipcoverspakids.com.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars. Small business owners are navigating an evolving small business landscape brought on by coronavirus. However, their resilience is reflected in Bank of America's 2020 Small Business Owner Report, a nationwide survey on 1,000 small business owners, which found that nearly 1/4 of small business owners took steps in 2020 to retool their offerings and or leverage their resources to support relief efforts in their communities. While many saw an impact in their bottom line last year, small business owners anticipate a strong post-pandemic environment, and 79% believe small businesses will return to be the backbone of the U.S. economy. Inspired by the small business owners facing unprecedented challenges, Bank of America continues their commitment to help small business owners in Philadelphia with the necessary resources to sustain and grow. For more information, visit bankofamerica.com.
Philly, get your motor running and let's hit the streets to remind everyone that there's an election just around the corner. Black Bikers Vote is back. This Saturday, May 1st, kickstands up at 2 p.m. from 61st and Cedar in front of the Church of Christian Compassion. Everybody welcome, independents, MCs, RCs. Hashtag Black Bikers Vote. For more details, this nonpartisan ride is sponsored by Power Interfaith. Ride at your own risk.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at WURD. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
Welcome back to more Labor's Live. I got to do a couple of shout-outs, folks, before we continue. I want to shout out Diane from South Philly, Malcolm from tuning in, also Dejan and Mabel, and also Phyllis Johnson. Do me a favor, Phyllis Johnson. Write this number down, 215-922-6140, extension 150, and give me a call on Monday, okay? Thanks a lot, Phyllis. Also, so we're back with Shadeen Holmes. She is an entrepreneur, 26-year-old, has her own literacy tutoring program called Lotus Tutoring. She's awesome. She's here with us today. You with us still, Shadeen?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, yes. So we want to touch a little bit because we have about 10 minutes left, maybe 7, to talk about the mental health, you struggle with a little bit. Let's, talk a little bit about that.
Oh, wow. Mental health for me has been like a journey. Like I said, I left the classroom in 2019 because I just wasn't feeling like myself. And at the time I was in like a very toxic relationship. I was like not eating and things like that. And I didn't know that I was struggling with depression. I just knew I wasn't okay because I had this background in education, like of how to identify trauma or identifying children when they're not okay. And so I decided to step outside of my comfort zone and go to therapy. And like therapy has changed my world. It has helped me change my life. Like if I didn't go to therapy and decide to commit to working on myself and doing the work and self-caring and like personal development, I promise you I probably would not be on this phone call. Like I just wouldn't, because I don't know where I would be if I didn't invest in my mental health. Like mental health is so important. It's so important. Like I was dealing with depression and I didn't even know it. And so that got me to walking away from my job and all of those things. And if I hadn't committed to doing the work on myself, I would have never like gotten back into my passion. I would have never gotten back in front of children if I hadn't committed to working on myself. And it's been a journey. Like even just being on this phone call, like people see me now, but there were a lot of like long days and long nights where I wasn't sleeping because I just really had to go inside and work on myself. And so just as we go into Mental Health Awareness Month in May, it's just so important to be in tune with yourself and know what's going on inside. Like we can look okay physically on the outside, but if we're not okay on the inside, then nothing's going to work. Nothing works if we don't work. So we got to do the work on ourselves and make self-care, like normalize self-care and normalize personal development and do all of those things, because that's how we can show up every day powerful. If I wasn't in tune with my mental health, I couldn't show up for my children effectively. And I know that because when I wasn't in tune with my mental health, I wasn't showing up effectively for my children. I wasn't showing up effectively in the communities that I serve. And so just mental health and working on that and being in tune with that and being a vessel that people can see the importance of being in tune with your mental health has been monumental for me. It's like, and my friends see it and my family see it, and now I'm creating conversations about going to therapy and making therapy normal, and people are coming to me and like, what are you doing? What do I have to do? And I'm like, you got to work on yourself. You got to do the work. I can take you to the water, but I can't drink it for you. You have to commit to doing the work, just like I did, just like other people do who show up, especially when you're a community leader and you're like invested in doing the work to better your communities. Because I'm invested in this and I'm married to the work with my children and my families and just being a community leader, I have to do that work on myself or I couldn't show up effectively. So just my own journey with mental health has gotten me here, just knowing the importance. And so I'm able to incorporate wellness and meditation and journaling into the work that I do with my children. And they even see it. Like I had a client the other day real quick. She was having a terrible bad day, and I showed up. We were supposed to do homework, but I could tell that she just wasn't there. And so instead of doing homework, I taught her how to journal. I said, okay, well, write about it. I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes and just write about your day. Like, write about what's going on. She wrote, I hate this day. Like, she just went on and on. She was writing. She was like, can I have 5 more minutes? So then that turned into 20 minutes. And then by the time she was finished writing, she was smiling. And I'm like, do you feel better? And she was like, I do. And I was like, well, what did you do? She was like, I just wrote about all my issues. And so I told her I would go get her a journal from Five Below. And whenever she's having a terrible bad day, or even when she's feeling good, she can write about it to release that so that then she can go on and do what she's needed. So I take strategies and skills that I learned in my own journey in therapy and that I've developed, and now I'm giving them to my children at young ages. So just imagine where they'll be when they're 26, when they're 18, when they're 15, and they have these strategies that help them tune into their mental health. Is like monumental.
I'm so glad that you were able to share, because I know it takes a lot, because, the Black community and the stigma of therapy and going to therapy is so strong in our community, and people are like, oh, Black folks. So I appreciate you having that strength to share. We have a therapist that our council uses, Farida Boyer, and she's always on the show, and she says that, she has what they call the Black Brain Campaign, and the stigma, it identifies the stigma in the communities when it comes to therapy. But like you said, therapy helps. And the fact that you were able to identify your own issues because of the learning skills that you had in school, that showed you how to identify in kids, you identified in yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Everything I've identified with myself, everything that I can identify in my children that I serve is because I can identify in myself. And in therapy, my therapist is like great. I started therapy in D.C., so she's out in D.C. Samantha Goburn, you can find her on Psychology Today. She taught me so many skills, and she taught me just like, if I can't see it in myself, then I can't do anything with another person. If I can't see the good, the bad, and the ugly within myself, how am I going to teach a 5-year-old to be confident and to take risks if I'm not even doing it with myself? So therapy, like sometimes I tell people therapy, and they're like, well, why are you going to therapy? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, therapy should be as normal as going to the doctor for a checkup.
Hello.
The state of your brain, your brain should be as normal as you going to get blood work done. Like, I will call my therapist. She's trying to kick me out of therapy, and I'm like, hold on, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure. And she's like, no, you ready. Like, you don't need this anymore. Like, you're ready to go and be a leader and a vessel in your world. Wow. But it's like that has made all the difference in my life. Like, deciding to step into that room, like, I'm not okay, and I need to do something different because I'm waking up every day and I'm not happy. So now it's like almost 2 years later, and I wake up every day. Every day is not a good day, but every day I express gratitude for the fact that my 2 feet hit the ground. Mm-hmm. And therapy has gotten me there. Like, knowing that I'm not okay and realizing that it's okay to not be okay and extending myself grace. And in that, I can extend grace and love to the world because I extend love and grace to myself. And therapy taught me how to do.
Oh, I appreciate you, Shadeen. Listen, before we go, I tell you that hour goes fast. We have like 2 minutes left, but what I want you to do is get your plug in and tell people how they can get in contact with you for kids and adults. Give your information out.
Yeah, so if you want to get in contact with me, you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram page is @homeschool, so that's HOLMESSCHOOL and that's the hub for all of my Lotus tutoring things, all of my social emotional learning I do with my children. You'll find that there is contact information in the bio. I'm also on Facebook, Shadeen Holmes, SHADEEN, Holmes, HOLMES. I'll pop right up. And if you want to like set up for services or just get more information about pricing and things like that, you can send me a direct email at Shadeen, SHADEEN, @thelotustutoring.com. That's a direct email to me, and I'll follow right up, and I'll do what I can to be all that I can in our community so that our children and our families can be set up for success. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. And listen, folks, yes, of course, and it's not going to be your last time. Trust me, you'll be back. But I want to thank you so much for joining us, Shadeen, telling us about your great tutoring program that you have, you know, your struggles with mental health, you sharing that because it takes a lot of courage to actually share that with the listeners, and I know the listeners can appreciate it. And I know that you probably have helped someone, whether it's with literacy in their child or in themselves, and also with some mental health, because next month, May, is Mental Health Month, so we'll talk and touch on that. I want to thank you again for joining us today. You have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you for having me. Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, folks, we are out of time, but don't forget to vote. Don't forget to register to vote. May the 3rd is the last day to register. Also, go to the kickoff that they're having on May the 7th, the blood drive. Please, you know, give blood, be a humanitarian hero. Go to redcrossblood.org if you want to donate. Your health and safety team is there. Go to myldcbenefits.com for all of the great events virtual they have coming up. And don't forget to walk next Thursday at 6:30. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. Thank you, Troy. You're awesome. Guys, have a great weekend. Bye.